What is going on, Crimson Tide fans? We have got a loaded show on tap for you guys today. The Crimson Tide got a new commitment in their 2026 class on Monday, so we'll break that down. Also, take a look at the recruiting rankings and why some of these recruiting rankings might be a little bit skewed right now compared to what Alabama actually has in their class right now. Also, Steve Wiltfong placed two more official predictions for Alabama to land a wide receiver and another 5-star in this class. The Crimson Tide also offered another quarterback in this 2026 class. So we'll break all that down here on today's show. But first, want to ask you guys, make sure you are subscribed right here to the channel. We've got plenty of Alabama recruiting news coming up for you guys here over the next couple months. And then when the season kicks off, we will also have our watch parties, and those are a lot of fun. Trying to get to 25.5 thousand subscribers here. We're only 80 away, sitting right now at 25,420. Type those nice in the comment section as well. Make sure you guys get down there and hit that sub button for me. Stay up to date on all things Crimson Tide news. All right, the first thing up here on today's show, Alabama got their 6th commitment of this 2026 recruiting cycle from 4-star offensive lineman Sam Utu. He ended up committing on Monday after, there were a flurry of official predictions and everything like that. Those seem to always come to fruition pretty much. If that Bama Online staff ends up putting those official predictions in, you can bet your bottom dollar it's probably going to happen pretty soon. And they've got another one that we'll talk about here later on today's show. And you can see right there, he's listed on the 247 Sports composite rankings as the number 11 interior offensive lineman. But according to Andrew Bone and the Bama Online staff, might not necessarily only be an interior offensive lineman. This is what Andrew Bone had to say. He said Utu is an impressive 6'5", 330-pound lineman with 33.75-inch arm length, 80.5-inch wingspan, and 10-inch hand size. He is recruited as an offensive tackle or guard rather than just a set position. He will not take any additional visits and has completely shut down his recruitment. Obviously, you love to hear that he completely shut down his recruitment. He's not going to be taking any more visits. Now, this makes 2 offensive linemen in Alabama's 2026 recruiting class right now. You got Sam Utu, and you have Chris Booker as well. I know Chris Booker is a little bit lower in the rankings, but, you listen to a guy like Clint Lamb talk about him, he's really, really excited about what Alabama could possibly get from Chris Booker. He's really excited about, the possible growth that he can have in this, in his senior season as well. He's listed at 6'4", 270 pounds, so a little bit smaller of an offensive lineman, but, he's an interior offensive lineman, so maybe at the end of the day, he's going to be, Alabama's future center. You never really know there. Sam Utu, also 6'4", 330 pounds. He's listed as an interior offensive lineman, but you saw right there, could possibly kick out and play that offensive tackle position as well. Bama Online has also mentioned that Alabama is probably only going to take, 3 offensive linemen in this class. I've seen Andrew Bone say, maybe a 4th, is taken, but, they will probably only take 3. So, these are just some of the offensive linemen, but I think the most notable offensive lineman that Alabama is still targeting. You got Malachi Lee, who, he took a visit last weekend to Alabama. This past weekend, he was on campus at Texas as well. Looked like that visit went pretty well. Also, Deacon Schmidt was on campus, and Bryson Cooley has been on campus for official visits here recently as well. You also got Zeke Hilton out there. I believe he is expected to commit today. Alabama was in his top 4, top 5, but it seems like that communication for Zeke Hilton really hasn't been there for a while. So I really wouldn't expect Alabama to land Zeke Hilton's recruitment. I would expect if Alabama takes one more offensive lineman, it's probably going to be one of these 3 guys. So let me know down at the pin comment of today's video, which offensive lineman would you rather have in this 2026 class if Alabama is indeed only going after one more guy? Is it Malachi Lee, type ML, Bryson Cooley, type BC, or Deacon Schmidt? Go ahead and type DS down in the comment section at the pin comment of today's video. So just an overview right now, what Alabama currently has in their 2026 recruiting class. You only have one 5-star as of right now, but you never know, that might change here pretty soon. Jorden Edmonds, the number 1 corner. You got Zyan Gibson. He's the number 4 corner. Jamarion Matthews and Jamarion Johnson. Those 2 kids really do excite me. They were on campus for official visits this past weekend. Just looking at some of those photos, man, Jamarion Johnson really does right now look like a Jeremiah Beeman. Just imagine, in 2 years, what that kid could possibly blossom into, that body size at that bandit spot, or possibly even an interior spot of that defensive line. And then you have your 2 offensive linemen there in Sam Utu and Chris Booker. Now, the other day there was, I believe it was an Auburn fan, I'm not 100% on that, put out this photo of where Alabama sits in the 247 recruiting rankings right now. They're at like 50-something the other day. As of right now, after that Sam Utu commitment, 247 has Bama at the number 48 spot. Rivals has them at number 46. And then On3 has them at that number 9 overall spot in these 2026 recruiting rankings. And you're probably like, why is there such a big gap in between 247 Rivals and what On3 has them at number 9? Well, at the end of the day, Rivals 247, and I believe Rivals does it pretty much the same way as well. They really focus on the number of recruits. That has a, major weight in their recruiting rankings. USC has 23 commits in their class, but 17 or 20 of them or something like that are 4 and 3 stars, and they've got 12 3-stars or something like that. So sure, they've got a lot of commitments, but are they really the best commitments at the end of the day? I don't really know. This is what On3 put out, I believe it was this morning or maybe last night, one or the other. Their blue chip percentages right now. Alabama only has 6 recruits in their class, but 100% blue chip recruits in their class right now. And you're probably like, Chris, what is a blue chip recruit? A blue chip recruit is a committed player listed as a 4 or 5-star player. So Alabama doesn't have any 3 stars as of right now anyways. We'll touch on one guy here in just a little bit, but Alabama's sitting up there at 100% blue chip recruits. It's not about, the number of players. It's about the quality of players. And you see right there, USC is listed as the number 1 recruiting class in the country right now, but only 64% blue chip recruits. So, just because Alabama might be listed way down, number 48, number 46, whatever you're looking at, it's really about the quality of players that Alabama is getting in this class, and they're getting some really, really good players. There's also some more players that Alabama is looking at here that are going to commit fairly shortly as well. 4-star linebacker Sincere Johnson is going to be making his commitment on June 19th. Running back E.J. Crowell, he's actually going to be on campus today for a 7-on-7 event as well. And according to Bama Online, he's going to also take, not a visit, but an unofficial. He's going to meet with the coaching staff. Xavier Griffin, he was on campus, 5-star linebacker. He's going to be committing on June 29th. Cedarian Morgan, we'll talk about him here in just a little bit as well. 5-star wide receiver. I believe he's listed as the number 3 wide receiver right now in this class. July 2nd is his commitment date. Jireh Edwards, we'll talk about him in just a second. He's going to be committing on July 5th. He's another 5-star safety. And then you have 4-star linebacker Nick Abrams as well. He will be committing on July 16th. Before we continue here with some official predictions here in just a second, I want to give a shout out to our friends over at Fanatics. You guys can go check out and get this Alabama Scenic Polo today just by going to chatsports.com/Bama Polo. It is 50% off right now. I believe it's usually $100 down to $50 right now. It's got a lot of really cool things on there. You see a Bama pennant. You got the band practice field. Big Owls on there. The stadium, Coleman Coliseum. A whole lot of fun things on this shirt. Pretty solid Father's Day gift as well. So do not miss out. Make sure you get this thing before it goes off sale. 50% off right now just by going to chatsports.com/Bama Polo. I'll put that link down in the description and the comment section of today's video as well. One more time for you guys. 50% off on this Bama Scenic Polo just by going to chatsports.com/Bama Polo. All right, On3 Steve Wiltfong has also placed multiple official predictions here for 3-star wide receiver Brian Williams Jr. and also 5-star safety Jireh Edwards. Jireh Edwards is a guy that we've been talking about here recently. He took an official visit to Alabama this past weekend as well. And, originally when we started talking about him, I had some people in the comments section, especially on Facebook comment section as well, really chirping, saying, Alabama's not going to get Jireh Edwards. They're not even in his top 5, yada, yada, yada. Well, now On3 is placing official predictions, and it's not just Steve Wiltfong either. It was the entire Bama Online staff. And like I said earlier, when that happens, it's probably going to go down. They feel really, really good about that. Let's talk about Brian Williams Jr. here as well. 6'4", 190-pound wide receiver. Only a 3-star, very low on the rankings, but this is a guy that this Alabama coaching staff really does seem to like a lot. He put some, video clips out there of him working out and stuff like that. Really smooth kid. Can get in and out of some routes really, really nice as well. Jireh Edwards out of St. Francis Academy. That is a football powerhouse. So, you're talking about a 5-star guy that, could possibly really come in and contribute early for Alabama, because you never really know what's going to happen here in this upcoming season. You have Bray Hubbard, you have Keon Sabb. If those two guys play really, really well this season, there's a real world where they could actually go to the 2026 NFL draft. And then you've got Zay Mincy back there at that safety spot. And then it's kind of, you definitely got some players, Dre Kirkpatrick Jr., whether or not he's going to be playing corner, safety, Husky, not really sure exactly on that front. But still, there's some question marks after those 3 guys at that safety spot. So, maybe you get a Jireh Edwards, maybe you get a Jett Washington in this class. 2 5-stars at that safety spot would be absolutely ridiculous. This is actually what Kevin Wheeler said about Brian Williams Jr. Kevin Wheeler is actually his, kind of personal trainer that these guys get when they're, going through the summer times and things like that. He said his dedication to his craft, he worked even during the season. He stayed consistent. He works and grinds. He's a great kid, strong in his faith, which helps him stay grounded. He has elite length and great bend for his height and size. He gets out of breaks, natural hand catcher. Those are the things he does well. He's also a very good route runner. So just because you see a guy that is a 3-star, he's in the 700s here in the recruiting rankings, does not necessarily mean he is not a good player. You saw it from a guy like Latsier Brooks, who was very, very lowly ranked before Alabama offered him last year. Ended up still, he was like in the 50s or 60s at that wide receiver spot. So you never know what could happen there, but Brian Williams Jr. also predicted to Alabama. Some of these other wide receivers that Alabama is going after as well, there's definitely not a shortage of very, very good wide receivers in this 2026 recruiting cycle. Tristan Keys right now is committed to LSU, but does have a tentative official visit scheduled with Alabama. Now, we've seen guys, I don't know if you guys saw Mika Fitzpatrick's little brother, Justice Fitzpatrick. He committed to Georgia last week, and then he set up an official visit with Ohio State. And then last night, he ended up shutting it all down, and he's not taking any more visits. So you never know what could happen there. Maybe Tristan Keys shows up. Maybe he doesn't. Booby Feaster as well, the number 4 wide receiver in this class. And then in-state wide receiver Sadarian Morgan as well, another 5-star, number 12 overall in this class. Think it's probably still going to be a little bit of a smaller wide receiver class. So maybe you get Brian Williams Jr., maybe you get 1 or 2 more of these guys as well, but don't necessarily know exactly how many wide receivers Alabama will take in this class. So let me know down in the comments section, how many wide receivers will Alabama take in this 2026 recruiting cycle? Is it 2? Is it 3? Is it 4? Is it just 1? I don't think it's just going to be 1. It's probably going to be more than that. But let me know what you guys think down in the comments section. All right, we'll give a little bit of a quarterback update here as well. Jett Thomalla, Iowa State commit right now. We've been talking about him for a while. Took an unofficial visit to Alabama, not this past weekend, but the weekend before. He actually told On3 that he is, quote, still thinking after his visits to both Alabama and Iowa State. Ended up taking that official visit to Iowa State this past weekend. So, they, I'm sure, went after him very, very heavy during that official visit because they do not want to lose this kid to Alabama. 232 overall, number 16 quarterback, number 1 player out of the state of Nebraska as well. But he's not the only one Alabama's going after right now. They also this morning offered Tayden Kaawa, I believe is how Kaawa, something like that, out of Utah. Now, he's, I believe, originally out of Honolulu, Hawaii, but 6'4", 190 pounds, now living in Utah. Number 24 quarterback in this class as well. He also told On3, quote, "I have been there 2 times and Alabama is not too late with the offer. I will be taking an official visit." So the actual date for an official visit is not actually set up quite yet, but this is now the 3rd quarterback that Alabama has offered in this class. Passing stats in 2024, about 63.6%, over 3,200 yards, 31 touchdowns, 9 interceptions, also rushed for 318 yards and 4 touchdowns as well. So definitely nothing to scoff at there. So the 3 quarterbacks now that Alabama has offered in this 2026 recruiting class, Matt Ponatoski, Jett Thomalla, and Tayden Kaawa as well. Matt Ponatoski, you got the baseball thing with him. Jett Thomalla, he is right now committed to Iowa State. Still waiting to see a little bit more information there on Tayden Kaawa, but those are the 3 quarterbacks now in Alabama's, or the quarterback targets for Alabama's 2026 recruiting class.